Hey there everyone, welcome to another episode of the Paint Party Livestream. I am so glad that you've joined me wherever you are watching here on the interwebs. So good to have you with me this evening. I hope your week has been great and that you've had a relaxing week. We went from from fall last week to summer again today. It's almost 90 degrees. But the next couple weeks will be down in the 60s for highs. So gonna cool down a little bit. Our leaves are starting to change up here, but I heard from friends in Little Rock that it's still upper 90s there. So I know down south y'all are dealing with that extension of summer. This is always the best time of year down south because it starts to finally cool down and it's beautiful weather. But hopefully you'll get some relief. Glad to have you. Lola, so good to see you as always. Thanks so much for being here. All right, let's jump in this evening. Real quick, welcome, those of you that are popping in now. Glad to have you. I'll switch you over here and get things set up. Let me put the reference up here. This is what we'll be painting tonight. I am excited to get started on this painting. It's going to be a challenge, but we will make it work. So I am excited to challenge myself here. I'll get my phone camera set up for the canvas. That way y'all can see what I am painting a little more closely. All right. There we go. Well, I may have to back up just because this is a much bigger canvas than normally we have. So I may have to, yeah. I am not used to having a large canvas. Well, and I may have to adjust the image or the camera as we go. So we'll do the best we can here. I am actually painting on a low 80s during the day. Oh, that's so nice. So nice. Yeah, it was a little warm. It was upper 80s today, and I don't have air conditioning, so it was a little warm, but it's already starting to cool down as the sun goes down. All right. Whoop. That always happens when I switch back, doesn't it? Okay. All right, I have a toned canvas panel. This is probably, I suppose, almost 24 by 18 inches maybe. So it's much larger than what I do, or what I usually do. So I was debating whether to use the large canvas, but I really love this photo as a reference and really wanted to be able to do a nice painting. So we may not get quite as far as we usually do in completing this one, but we will get started. So technically what I'm starting with tonight, just so you welcome those of you that are popping in, see more people popping in. We jumped right into it tonight. So what I'm going to start with this evening is the sky. We're going to go backwards and move forward. So I have pointed my camera more up here so you can pretty much hopefully see everything. And I can adjust the camera as we go. But what I'd want to do is begin to put in one of the challenges of this painting is going to be the variations in the sky. There are very subtle variations, but I think they're really important because that's what makes the sky interesting to me. And that is, it's there on the, it is the largest part of the picture because we have a low horizon. So looking at it compositionally, I've been trying to really take my reference photos and look at them more compositionally and try to create better compositions as I prepare for the live stream. So I chose specifically this because it has a low horizon. You generally don't want a horizon that is right in the center. You want to either have a larger sky, especially in landscapes, and a smaller foreground, or a smaller sky and a larger foreground. That's good for things like a beach where you want to show a lot of the sand, a lot of the land, and you want very little sky. So it's also good for very dynamic skies. So all that said, we are going to take, I'm trying to determine which, I am going to mix a cooler shadow. So we'll paint the shadows of the clouds first, and I'm going to do that with some white and some ultramarine blue, which is very cool, as you can see here. Then I'm going to take just a smidge of brown, which will tone down the blue. And so we get kind of a grayish blue. And this will be the color of the cloud's shadow. I have to remember that everything will dry darker than it looks like on the palette. So let me move that out so you can see. It looks kind of a little more blue. It's very dull gray, kind of dullish gray here. So okay. We're going to paint in the shadow first of the, whoops, that's even two, there we go. There you can see what I'm doing. The shadow of the clouds. And I'm only doing this kind of cold side, cooler side, so that I can, on this side, I can warm it up, because you'll notice in your reference photo, this kind of, it's a little bit warmer over on this side. So we'll try to, and I think this under painting will really help us with that as far as the shadows of the clouds. Now there's almost a touch of, I can't tell, it's kind of a, I am still learning how to make these colors, so pardon me while I try different things. But I want a little more now. As I go further down, I want more, it's a little bit less blue, and there's almost a little bit of an orangish tone to it, the shadow. So I'm kind of going a little bit more brown, or a little bit more gray, away from the blue. We'll do, we'll just keep adding this in. kind of lay in really our value structure. That's what we're trying to go for. And that will help us to make sure the rest of things don't get kind of out of whack. We'll have to keep going here. Want to welcome everybody coming in halfway here. So glad to have you. Or not halfway, but after the start. Always know there are lurkers, people just watching, and that's just great. I'm glad to have you. But it always makes me curious who's out there. But no matter who you are or why you're watching, I am grateful to have you on the live stream tonight. Okay, and then the last thing we want to do, we want to go back to, there's really kind of this orangish bright spot where the sun's really shining, and then in the distance it's really kind of murky and dark and foreboding. There's kind of a storm that's passing through in the back, but we want that to be more, definitely more blue. So we'll start to put that in. See if we can put in. And I almost want to keep this more, I was going to say impressionist, not necessarily impressionistic, but I want to capture the feeling of the reference more than the photorealism of the reference. Hey there, sir. So glad to have you. Thanks for popping in. Seems like it's been forever since I've seen you guys. Hope life is treating you kindly. Okay, I'm going to be careful about putting in the light values here because I don't want to get too out of balance, but hey there, Mom and Dad. Glad to have you. Now go and try to do the same thing over here. What I'm looking for really is I want to put some of the warmth, the warmer blue. I'm doing a cerulean blue, bringing that in and mixing with this so there's kind of coordination, or it coordinates with the colors I already have. So we'll just lighten that up, and we want to come over here and put in some of that sky to give us a feeling of where it is. Some of that blue we really want right in there. Goes kind of through here, and it's going to blend right with the clouds. There's going to be clouds there, but they are really blended with this blue. So we'll just kind of do that. Then we'll just put some highlights. So let me see. And the second layer we do, we'll try to really blend some of this right in, because there's not a lot of sharp contrast. This is an impressive sky, but there's not a lot of sharp contrast between the cloud and the sky. One just kind of blends into the other. I really want that feeling of the sky, just kind of that wispy cloud feeling. That's what I really want. Okay. I was going to add some red, but I think I can do that through just some burnt sienna. Yep, that gives us some, it's hard to tell on your end, but that gives us kind of a red overtone on the top of these clouds. So as I'm doing this underpainting, I'm really testing out what works. How do I make these clouds look like they're brighter? Okay, time for me to sit back a little bit, take a photo, but also look at what I'm doing in the broader sense. I think I'm happy with where this is going. There are a few sharp edges which we can get rid of as we go. Oh, good grief. Garen, you're crazy. Yeah, people are not my strength. So we'll stick with clouds and trees. Maybe the occasional puppy dog like last week. But exactly. Exactly. All right, I'm trying to look at, okay, I think this is where I want to come in with some more of the kind of sky color. Oop, I lost the camera. There it is, came back. Thank you, camera. I'm so glad you're back. Oop. This is maybe going to mess up my... We'll see when it dries if this is going to mess up my value structure for this sky, but... I do want that blue to really show through there. So we'll keep layering this in. Kind of little by little. Once we get all the canvas covered in the sky, then we'll move down to the foreground a little bit. Do the same thing. Give our sky a minute to rest. But I want to get my cloud composition really kind of in there. We'll do a few layers of this. Hopefully, as we do more and more layers, we'll have better and better clouds. That's the goal, at least. Or better looking clouds. The more layers we get, the better it will look. Hopefully. That's the goal. Kind of have a gray through the middle. All right. This is too dark, I think, but we'll see. Because this is working, I'm going to keep using it. There we go. Thanks for joining, Bob G. Glad to have you. I know we've both been working hard today, so I'm glad you're taking a break to kind of relax a little bit, and I'm glad to provide the opportunity. Okay. We are getting there little by little. Now I want to take this base I have and draw, basically go into more of the blue tones. I came in really pretty dark, well, and it dries darker when we started, but remember, hey there Weston, good to see you. Hope that your travels went well. Look forward to seeing you on calls this week. So I came in pretty dark, and now I'm going to try to, and I lightened up the top half of the sky. Now I want to come in here underneath, and that's almost the same, which we kind of want in there into here. Kind of want these pretty much the same colors, but then it definitely changes to kind of a bluish color as it goes back into the sky. So I definitely want to begin to bring that in. And I'm going to have to do more of the dark. Darken it a little bit. Let's see. We'll blend this in a little bit. It's kind of working, y'all. I'm liking how this sky is shaping up. Always surprised when something works. Not always surprised, but often surprised. So funny. I haven't said this in a while, but when I started back in Little Rock a couple of years ago, I remember every time was something new because I had such little knowledge that it was really fun. And I remember saying, someday I'll know how to blend these colors, and someday I'll know how to do X, Y, and Z, and then I'll be actually disappointed because I'll wish, and it's kind of true, but it doesn't matter because at the edge of my skill is always kind of where I try to sit. So it's like always, where am I, where will I struggle? or what would push me, not to struggle, but in a way, push me to have to try to figure something out. So I'm really excited as I dive more into this. I think I need a little more blue, maybe, as I dive into the sky, because it's really pushing me to have to be better than I am. For sure. But when I am better than I am, that's really when it's a lot of fun. Because it's like, oh my goodness, that worked. Maybe I'm just mumbling to myself, but that's what's going on in my head as I do these things. So that's the fun part to me. We'll bring this all the way up, the light, to almost, because it just kind of blends right in there, doesn't it? Yeah. It's like, what? There we go. Like some of the other stuff we did, well, the painting we did of the puppy last week, what I'm doing now that I have my values in place is I'm just trying to carve out my sculpture. So it's almost like not thinking so much about what clouds look like, but I'm looking at where is the light reflecting and what value is that. Okay, I don't want to overpaint this, but I do want to give some. Okay, this sky's looking pretty good, y'all. Pretty good. What do you think? What do you think? We're about 45 minutes in, and we spent a lot of time on the sky, but I think we have a really good foundation. Then we should be able to just come in really to give the real, because this is almost exactly like I want it. Then I think we just need to come in and do the highlights along these clouds up here to really make it pop and make it the dramatic piece that I want. So let's do this. Oh, sorry. Let me tilt your camera down a little bit so you can see what's in the foreground. Since I can't show the whole thing, or it's difficult to show the whole thing, I am going to sit back for a minute. And this will always also give us a chance to give a chance for the paint to dry on the panel, even though I think most of it is drying pretty quick as we do it. Okay. Yeah, I really am happy with the colors and the value balance of this painting so far. So now the next challenge is the foreground, and it's really laying out the, whoops, sorry, didn't mean to shake your camera, but I'll turn you back there. There we go. My tripod is right at my side. So, okay, now what I want to do is take in a little of this, a little bit of green, because I want to start blocking in this, the bottom part of this painting. So we'll take some of this. All right. I'm going to take a little burnt sienna and a little bit of white. Bit of blue, just a cut. Maybe some raw sienna. Cool it down a little bit. This is, except for the sky, I think this is the brightest, the road is the brightest value. So let's kind of put it in, or let's try to start drawing in where we want it to go. And it's going to be right in the front here. This is just blocking in kind of where the road needs to go. You know, I am not a pro at the winding road, so we'll try to get it in, see if we can get it looking somewhat like it should. Someday I'm going to sit down and do a whole bunch of exercises on perspective, bunch of sketches, so it forces me to really get a good eye for perspective. but I think I can do this. Kind of disappears up in here. All right, we'll put that in for now, and then we can always adjust it. All right. Doing some green and take to put in some of this. Again, this is just a base color to kind of get in the rough composition. We'll start like we did in the clouds, putting in our shadow. Come over, do the same on the left side there. In the distance, it's almost black, so we want it really dark there. All right. Now, we'll see if we can come in with a, I did not We'll just kind of put in the have that song in my head. Country road, take me home. It's gonna like stay in my head for days now, probably. I guess there's worse things to be stuck in your head, but just like, no. That looks a lot more fluorescent green than it actually is in real life, so don't worry too much. The way I think the glares off the canvas, the light glares. Let's get this though. Get the whole canvas covered. But I am pretty pleased with how all this is coming together. Because if we get this right, then we can plug in the final details pretty easily. I have to paint a couple of coats on this green because the green and the yellow that are used to make it are pretty translucent. So but if the underpainting shows through a little bit, it's not a bad thing because it looks like variations already just with it showing through the way it is. It looks like variances in the, oh, well, that's no good. That just slid right down. Pardon me, y'all, while I retrieve my painting off the floor. Oh, there we go. That's what I get for trying to paint off the lip. That's what I call painting when you're trying to make sure the bottom of your painting blends with the other and it's up on the lip of the canvas. All right. See what I mean? The variations in the color give us some variations in the grass, which is good. Okay, I'm not gonna do much more because now I'm starting to take paint off the canvas. Okay. I'm going to set that there, sit back and look at what we have and take a photo again. Step back several feet just to really look at what I'm doing here. Okay, we have about 50 minutes to hone this in. So I think I want to put some flowers in there. Because those flowers are so bright, they really stand out. And I really want that to be an important part of this painting. So I am gonna take kind of a bright fuchsia pink and mix just a tad of green in there to desaturate the pink just a little bit. Okay. Adding more magenta back in, then doing the same thing. All right. Well, we have the pink in. It's definitely there. So right now it's gonna, that is too bright what we're trying to do. So well, trying to decide what brush I need to use for this next kind of phase. The success of this part is really the contrasts between lights and darks. You need almost more contrast than you would think you need. To make it look correct. We want almost black in there. Just dark, 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 dark. Oh. Little by little getting there. See, just adding some contrast. Again, lights against darks. We need some, let's actually do this color. It's the light, but let's see what happens if we take this into here. I think this approach is really working, y'all. By keeping this more impressionist than trying to make it perfect or a perfect photorealist painting. I think it's going to give me the feeling I want people to. I almost want kind of this idyllic feeling when people look at this painting where it's just kind of like Y'all, I'm really liking how this is coming together. How about you? How about you? Okay, I'm gonna do some more grassy stuff on this left side. So I'm gonna do some green. I said at the beginning we may not get as far along as we think, but we are, and that's wonderful. I will probably have to come back to this in the next few days and put some specific highlights in, but I mean, because the guts of it are so good, or turning out so good, at least the way I want it. You'll notice it's a lot more soft over here. It's not as extreme. But I want it, when people look at it, I want them to look at it as a painting. It's not a photorealist painting. I want them to be able to see the brushwork and appreciate the brushwork. So that's really bright. I hope that it dulls down as it dries, but we'll take some. That phthalo green is just so, or sap green, I mean, is so green, Christmas green, that you have to really tone it down. There we can put a few variances in there that'll make it less green. Just kind of take that in. Okay. That. Okay. Let's start putting some of those details in the back that are gonna really stand out. Oh, that light's really starting to come out. Thank you so much. what I'll do is take some green, mix it with that yellow and brown, and this will help us define this tree. You have to go back in and put some more shadows in, but that's okay. In fact, I know I will. So let's go mix some of that while we're doing this. Let's see, where's the brush I'm looking for? Of course, I can always never find the one. Oh, there it is. Now we're going to put a little more detail. See if we can put a tree trunk in here. That way that tree's not just floating out in midair like our puppy last week. I did add a shadow under him. Those of you, Lola reminded me to put a shadow under him and then I forgot. And so I came back and finished the painting and put a proper shadow so he wasn't just floating out there, but all right, just a few more minutes to kind of finish up as far as we can get on this live stream. Really appreciate that. I don't know if I'm going to get to the if I am going to get to the fence. That's the biggest, not biggest, but that's a piece that's really missing here. So I may have to come back later and do that, but that's okay. putting some trunks in. It's amazing how much a few branches and trunks can make a tree look less like a blob and more like a tree. Start putting the idea of some of a fence in there at least. Maybe I can at least get them some of the posts where they need to be. Using a real tiny brush. I think that some we'll get some. There we go. Now we can maybe use this brush. There, that gives us at least the start of something. Put this one is a just a few more minutes. So hard to stop when things are going good or when they're going the way you want them to do. But we will get y'all out of here on time. No worries. All right, well, we kind of put the fence in a little bit. Still some detail that could be done in the trees and then highlighting the clouds, but overall I am very pleased with how far we've gone in such a short time. Thank you so much. I am pleased as well. I think this just makes a more, not a more interesting painting, but it's very clear it's a painting and not a photo, which is funny because that's at the beginning when I first started painting, that was my goal. Let me just scoot it back so y'all can see the full thing. There you can see my, I think it's a little crooked, so we'll go like that. There we go. You can see my, where we are. Let me see if I turn this off if it's any better. All right, ooh, I like that, yeah. So you can see what's going on there and how far we got. We did pretty well for just 2 hours. I'm really kind of shocked because it was such a large canvas and we spent a full hour just on the sky getting that in. So I think this will be one of my new favorites probably. Let me take some additional. I got so excited in the middle that I didn't take many progress photos, but all right, let me say hello to you all there again, and I'll switch as we do, switch my camera around. Well, you can't see me now anyway. And we will go here, back there. Whoops, let me take this out, and I do want to say thank you for joining me. Is this, let me look, I can never tell. There we go. I guess it doesn't matter, but thank you for joining me on the live stream. It has been a pleasure having you here. We will meet again next Monday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. I guess I don't have to say all of them, but this is where we are with this one. Really pleased with it. I think it's turning out really great, and I can't wait to finish kind of highlighting the sky. And it's just kind of shocking to me sometimes when things really work out, how much my ability has improved. And not just so much my ability, but my ability to use the skill I have to kind of create what I want. And so that, I think, is the big thing. It's not so much that I have a disproportionate amount of better skill than I did before. I just know how to use it a little better. So I guess that is good to know. All right, there we go. And I will see you all. Oh, here's the puppy, if you were curious about that. No longer floating out in thin air. He has a shadow under him, but I was really pleased with that one as well. I varnished it so it now looks shiny, and it helps to bring out some of the contrasting colors once it's varnished. So that was a fun one last week. All right, again, thank you so much for joining me on this, the 76th episode of the Paint Party Livestream. I look forward to seeing you next week. The same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, have a great evening, and we'll see you next time.